Hi there, my name is Casper Jones. I handcraft skateboards for Life Skateboards. If you'd like to get a handcrafted deck of your own, you're going to have to wait 1 second. Where the heck did I put it? Sorry about that, I'm on my way back. You're going to go over to lifeskateboard.com and get yourself a handcrafted deck. Today you're going to be watching me go through a huge stack of boards. I'm going to go through 2 at a time, whatever the stack has in a row of each shape. And as we get to the orbital on each step, I'll be able to talk to people, and I'm going to go through my spiel as I get through each of these. Once again, just go ahead and screenshot that lifeskateboard.com. I really wanted to do like a 5-hour live today, but it just shut me off at 2 hours and 20 minutes a little bit ago. So I'm going to throw this mask on, and I'm going to get going. I got 2 pretty large boards right here. They were going to be running through the rest of this, and then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 that are for orders and 2 for myself. So let's get to it. If you have any questions about the board making process, what we do here, or anything like that, feel free to ask, and please share this with your friends if you enjoy it. I got to find my little niche audience. Any questions about the board making process? I'll go through the spiel on exactly what I'm doing. Hey, thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Hopefully this is fun to watch for you. If you feel like it, share this with everybody for me, because I need to find my little niche audience. Because this is a pretty niche thing to enjoy. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear about that. I know Vegas has a really cool scene out there. Yeah, I actually snapped my leg. I've got some nice little hardware down there. Snapped my leg a couple years ago and took some recovery. But good luck on your recovery, man, because you guys have a great scene out there. deal. This thing tried to kill me one time. It was not fun. Not much. How are you doing, Tap? Thank you for tuning in. Orbital where I can actually see and respond to what you guys say. Let me get a drink of water here real quick. Whew. And we'll get back to it. Looks like we got some really cool shapes coming up here. A very pointed knife is the next shape we'll be doing after these guys. Glad you're doing well, man. It is nice outside. I hope everybody's, well, it's nice where I'm at. It's pretty ignorant of me to assume it's nice where everybody else is at, but I hope to maybe get out and skate this evening. I hope you get to get out and skate this evening too. And if you don't skate, buy a skateboard for me, and then you can start. This or sharing it, and I greatly appreciate you guys. It's because of you guys that I'm able to have this much fun and interaction with random people all over the world. I love it. These two boards, and this one here is going to require a little bit more love. You're going to see some horizontal lines across the veneer that need to be gone before they reach the customer. So that's why you'll see me spending more time on this board than this one. guys have any questions about the board making process, feel free to ask. When I'm on this step, I can see everything and respond really well. I'll try to answer any questions I have for you. I can ramble on about skateboarding, or I can ramble on about some of the stuff that's coming up here. So if you weren't aware, this shop is located in New Palestine, Indiana, which is just 20 minutes east of Indianapolis. So this Friday and Saturday, there will be a contest at the skate park. $10 to enter for each section of it. Friday will be game of skates and successful kids. Saturday will be a street contest and the mini ramp contest. I'll definitely be there for the mini ramp contest. We'll see about the street contest. The following weekend is going to be great. That next Sunday is Major Meltdown. Contest always running with Zach, our friend Yard Dad. About $450 up for cash prizes, as well as a lot of products. Big thank you to all the sponsors for being possible. And after the contest, we'll have a big show in Pennsylvania. So, coming out to Major Taylor on May 18th for Major Meltdown. It's going to be a rad time. You can win some stuff, win some money, see some good shows, and see some crazy skateboarding go down. Major's my original home and heart. My new and local is Lawrence, which is where I host the November contest every November. I say every, we're only done one, but I want to make it annual real bad. The city is pretty down to earth with us. And if you want to get one of these boards to your own, I will show you the website in just a second here. The website is extremely interactive. We're doing everything in house. Select the fly number, fly color, your wheelbase, your speed, your graphics, your color, your graphic ink color. You can split anymore. Do whatever you want. We got you. And instead of you buying something that's already made, we're going to make it for you. So here at Life Skateboards, we make it right for you. We do everything in house, and I'm happy to do it. The company consists of two people, the owner and I. We started the company in 2012, and then we have a pretty good team as well. If you go to the Instagram page for Life Skateboards, the bio is full of the entire team. The roster is pretty rad. I love it. Andrew Allen and I both have signature shapes and graphics on the team. Honestly, can't wait to get out and skate. Ooh, almost dropped a bunch of shit this evening. See if this needs any more love. A little bit here. Oh, it works. It's not love, not work. That's what we do. Alright, I'm going to go stack this over there, and then we'll go ahead and touch this blue one, and I'll walk around the shop and give you my little spiel about Life Skateboard. So like I said, this one's going to need a little bit more love because of those horizontal lines that you can't even see on your screen. Only I can see them, and probably the customer wouldn't even notice it either, but it would bother me if it was. Unfortunately, sometimes sanding does take away from the really cool texture. I'd rather have a high quality board than a really pretty crappy board. watching this. This is a pretty niche thing for people to watch, and I'm trying to grow my audience. Trying to get my watch hours up so I can be YouTube partner, make everything a lot easier, like putting links on the videos and everything. So if you can, like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate you, and it's because of you guys that I can reach a huge audience of people that I never would otherwise been able to reach. So thank you. Oh no, Simon! Simon said the thing. You know who had a really big egg board for the last like 3 years? Us. The Dino egg. We also have an 11.75. And we have a 14-inch mold. I like you, Zach. That's a good answer. We have eggs at home, and ours are better. They've got money bumps all the way to the edge. Ugh. Plus, we're boy free around here. We don't have that stuff. I made a heroin joke and I'm sorry. No needles in this shop. No needles in the sandbox here. With addiction, by the way. I'm just throwing that out there. What an unfortunate name for a community that is plagued with addiction. That's what my opinion. I know why he did that. I like that, makes stuff like that glorifies people being addicted and ruining their lives. I don't like it. Sorry, I got a rant again. It's not true. So the story of the name behind that is because they wanted to pick something as addictive as skateboarding. Kind of like Magnet's crew. They are SUs. See, most ex-users don't glorify the thing that they used to do. That's why Life Skateboards is named Life, because in sobriety and skateboarding gave my boss a new life. Hey, thanks, Simon. I got a chip on my shoulder about heroin. Mainly, I got dead friends. It's not cool to see that everywhere. Sorry, it just is what it is. You can call me sensitive if you want. Call me whatever, but it is what it is. But I appreciate that, Simon. Thank you. I think the reason it irks me so much is because people saying they're addicted to something that they're not actually addicted to really irks me. Like, I'm addicted to shopping. No. You have the shakes when you don't go shopping on the weekend. You stealing from people to go do your shopping. I don't think you're addicted. So you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things. As a person that helps people through addiction and sobriety, it's a personal issue. Definitely not like a serious issue. Yes, they are better. Yeah, the name itself is just like a bummer, you know what I mean? I love the idea. I love the concept. The little egg thing was so cute. Exactly, Zach. Perfect. Never missed my kid's birthday because I was shopping. And never missed my kid's birthday because I was a shopaholic. That's a great comparison, Zach. Thank you. That's a pretty good one. Really funky shape. Alright. Run my hands along that. This is why I don't wear gloves for this step, because part of the quality control is running my hands along it and making sure that it feels smooth. So with those two done, we're going to be moving on to the knife. But like I said, once I finish something all the way to the Orbital, I'm just going to give you guys a little tour, a little spiel on what I do here. My name is Casper Jones. I handcraft skateboards for Life Skateboards. Those skateboards are available at lifeskateboard.com. Here at Life Skateboards, we do everything in-house. If you were tuned in earlier this morning, I say morning, it was probably around noon. Gluing all these boards by hand. They start off as loose veneer, get pressed, glued by hand into the press. They're in these presses for 24 hours, and then they cure in a stack of their own concave for a week. After that, Sam drills the truck holes into them right here on that drill press, and then he attaches one of these mini templates that he's cut out himself, attaches it to them through the truck holes, and then runs it around here to cut out the shape. And that's when I get them in a stack like this. And then we go through these steps. This brings the edge to a 90 with the concave so that this here can make it round. This cleans it up a little bit. This cleans it up further. And then this is the last step of sanding before the graphics are applied. And then graphics are applied here with hand-carved lino blocks, the majority of which have been carved by Ben Blakely, good friend of the owner, great dude. I've met him when I started the company, when I started with Life, I'm sorry. Really good dude. He did my graphic as well. So check him out and check out our graphics. We apply all our graphics in that studio up there. And that's also where we package everything up for shipping. We ship everywhere. I'll show you the website and then I'll get back to shaping. It's feeling like rain. Look at that, right? Gray, blue. I'm not gonna skate. I'm gonna skate. This is Indiana for you. It's not great, but so yeah, Life Skateboards. I'm gonna get back to work here. I'll show you the website, and then the next board we're shaping is gonna be pretty labor intensive. Anything with little funky waves in it, like this knife, is gonna take a little bit more time. So we're gonna do that one by itself. But if you want to get a life board of your own, just hop over here to lifeskateboard.com. I wrote it backwards and forwards because I don't know how many times I've gone back here and realized my videos are backwards. So if you're enjoying watching this, please feel free to share it with people. Always helps. Growing my audience makes us reach more people. More people means more work. More work means bills get paid. So I'm going to throw my mask on and get started here. When I get over to the Orbital, I can answer questions and everything else. Feel free to ask. I'm here to answer. We don't hide things here, we just make you great skateboards. I mean, look at that one. That's just gorgeous. As you probably noticed on there, I skipped these edges, and that's because obviously I can't get in there. But it needs to be nice and smooth, so I'm going to touch that up on the Orbital before I take it through the edge router. Good to go, and I'll go ahead and move the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing next. This next step rounds off the edge now that it's at a 90 to the concave. This is such a cool board. Now we're going to take it over to the drum here. Looks like that's angled down. I might want to angle that back up here. There we go. So this will clean it up just a little bit further. Most of the time I overlap on the nose all the way to the other side, but because this is a point and we don't want to lose that punk point, we're not going to do that. Mac wheel here. Alrighty, let me get the phone plugged in and the tripod dropped down a little bit. There we go. Angler down. There we go. Alright, now it's onto the Orbital with this guy, and you're going to see the labor intensive aspect of this. I'm not even showing you guys what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. Life Skateboard spiel. It's coming. Custom knife. I'm assuming custom because of the lines that were drawn on the top. So give me 1 second here, throw this back in the stack, grab some water, and we'll move on again. And I'll go ahead and go through my Life Skateboard spiel. And I'm sorry if I'm annoying people. I'm just going to keep doing it. So, my name is Casper Jones. I make skateboards for Life Skateboards. Here at Life Skateboards, we handcraft every board that we make, and we make it just for you. Earlier this morning, it was probably around noon, I was gluing boards by hand and putting them in the press. We start off with loose, fresh veneer. Glue them all by hand to make sure that you get full glue coverage on every side of every ply inside your skateboard. And then they get put in this press here, one of these presses. We've got several, a standard. There's a youth on top of this. A mellow will fit in there, a wide, and then our long is back here. After they're in the press for 24 hours, they sit in a stack of their own concave for a week to cure. And then Sam, my boss, the owner, puts the truck holes into those boards with this drill press and attaches one of these mini templates that he cut himself to that board and then runs it along this router. This router cuts out the shape, and then what I get is this. I'll get a board that the edge is not to a 90, but the shape is cut out. This here is called a knucklehead. Actually, this is our big knucklehead. We've got several. And then I'll go through each step as I'm doing it here. I'm going to go ahead and just, let's see. We'll go ahead and send 2 boards at a time on this one. So we'll do the knucklehead and what looks like a extended 10. I'm not sure. There's a couple customs in this one. But yeah, we'll go ahead and send those 2 all the way through. This step will bring that edge to a 90 with the concave so that this step can round off the edge. This step will clean it up a little bit more. This step will clean it up further, and then the orbital is the last step before graphics are applied. Graphics are applied with hand-carved lino blocks. If we get through these 6 boards here quick enough, and I can go ahead and shape my boards, I'm going to clock out, shape my boards, and we'll go ahead and apply graphics on this live as well. So stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in, and you can get a Life Skateboard of your own at lifeskateboard.com. Yep, I wrote it backwards and forwards because I don't know which direction this screen is while you're watching it. I'm a little new to YouTube-ish. I'm not sure what you would call new, but thanks for tuning in. I'm going to throw my mask on and get through these steps. When I get back to the orbital, I can answer any questions really easily because I won't have the mask on, and we'll go ahead and do the little tour thing, give my little spiel in between each board making round here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If this is something you enjoy watching, please share it. I'm trying to reach my little niche audience that enjoys watching this kind of stuff, and you guys watching is very helpful. You're raising my watch hours, getting me closer to a YouTube partner, and then it'll be a lot easier for me. I can just put a link right on the screen for you and all kinds of stuff. What's up, Vegas? You're still here. But sorry if you hear the spiel like 6 times. If you are, you're the best, because that means you've been watching through a lot. And I appreciate you. Hell yeah. I appreciate it, Vegas. You're rad. On to the next step here. So I'm going to extend the tripod and sit you guys right back behind the edge router. This is honestly my favorite step to watch. I like watching the, you'll see little spindles of the top ply when I go back around and kind of just spiral off of it. Step here is the drum. The drum cleans it up, like I said before. I'm going to show you doing this edges, top and bottom, and then I will show the nose and tail process. I really like this tripod here. It is very helpful compared to everything else I've used. Just making sure it's not raining yet. don't forget, guys, if you're enjoying watching this, please share it with people. I'm still looking for my little niche audience of people that enjoys watching skateboards being made the right way. Other lives I do, sometimes I'm playing with my dog, take her out to the dog park, doing some skateboarding, that kind of stuff. So subscribe, like, all that stuff I'm supposed to say. And get a life! That's the fun part. If you get a Life skateboard, you can yell at people to get a life. And you're just advertising for us. You're not insulting anybody. I love it. Onto the lovely Mac wheel. This is the machine that wanted to kill me once. Sorry, I saw a question on there that said, will you have a channel for the boards also? I'm not really sure what you mean by that, because I just do everything here. This I started this YouTube channel as like a follow me around for a day kind of thing. So it's kind of just fallen into that. So everything's right here. It's a little hodgepodge of absolutely everything. That's what my channel is. I will say, I'm getting pretty hungry. there's my water. All right, let me get the phone plugged in, get you guys plugged in the corner over here. It's where the best service is in this corner. So after this, we got 4 boards left in that stack over there. It has been a good live. A good few lives. The last one, oh shit. Oh boy, I am so glad that didn't just end the live. Talking about how good it is and almost end it by accident. Stay hydrated, kids. I'm getting a little tired and hungry. But I'll go ahead and keep going through this. What is that? 6 more boards total. So I can clock out in 4 boards, shape those 2. And then maybe I'll go ahead and just do the base graphic on that board so you guys can see how lino block printing works. Go ahead and go grab some lunch at, it's 4:30 p.m. Wow. I didn't realize that. That's why I'm hungry. I'm gonna finish these boards up though. Why not? If I'm skating and I withhold myself water just until I land the trick, maybe I can be working and withhold myself food until I'm done with the work. I just hate to split this live up again. You guys have been so helpful and sharing everything for me. I greatly appreciate it. You guys are rad. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so I can keep contact with you guys. If you enjoy watching this, I don't know if you guys get notifications when I go live or not, but always awesome. Always awesome to have a growing audience. Sorry, I like to have this on hand whenever that number in the top there changes a lot. Don't forget, if you're new here, just screenshot that and you can go straight to the website and get whatever board you want. I think the screen might go paused for a second. I'm going to share, I think my fiance just got off work. I'm going to send this over to her, see if she would hop on as a moderator. That way we have some more in here. There we go. And I'm back. I don't even know if I left the screen. Already passed the hour mark on here. Here's the trick from being poor. If you're real hungry and you happen to have some caffeine stuff next to you, it helps. This is not a healthy advice thing. It's a convenience advice thing. Look at those. They're great. That was upside down. There you go. It's probably backwards for you. A little 40 milligram shot of caffeine. skateboard.com. Screenshot that, get your board. After I'm done with these two, we'll do another lap around the shop, kind of go through what I'm doing, and then in between finishing these two, if you've been watching for a while, let me know if you'd like me to go through 2 for the last 2. So do 2 and then 2, or just send 4 all the way through it. You let me know, and we'll figure it out. All right, throw that back on the stack over here. Grab the knuckle head. Remember, that knuckle head was fun. We just shaped this one. Knuckle heads are great. This is the big knuckle head. These little things are fun to play with. I skated a knuckle head for a while before I made my own shape and really enjoyed popping random stuff off the nose. For some reason, like varial heels worked really well off of that. I don't have varial heels anymore. But the day I broke my leg, I was landing varial heels with a knucklehead. In fact, I After I shape this, the next trip around, the knucklehead I broke my leg on is in the other room. I'll show you guys that. This green veneer just eats these discs up. I had to be very careful how I pronounced that. I realized about halfway through the sentence. Veneer doesn't look as pretty as it started, but man, I don't know. You guys can't see how beautiful that is. This is gorgeous. I'm nerding out over here. Sorry. Alrighty, so I'm going to go through my big old spiel about Life Skateboards. And by the time I'm done with that, I want you guys to let me know if you want me to go through these last, well, I got 6 boards left to do. 4 of them are for orders, the other 2 are mine. So when I get these 4 done, I'm going to clock out, shape these 2 here, and then we'll go and do graphics. So by the time I'm done with my little spiel about Life Skateboards in a second here, let me know if I should go through 4 of these or 2 at a time. Otherwise, I might just go ahead and send 4 or see what happens. But anyway, my name is Casper Jones. I handcraft skateboards for Life Skateboards. Here at Life Skateboards, we do everything in-house and everything by hand. If you want a Life Skateboard of your own, just go to lifeskateboard.com. Go ahead and screenshot that. Wrote it backwards and forwards because I don't know when the screen's flipping back and forth. But we do everything in-house here, like I said. We start off with some loose veneer, make those layups. We glue everything together by hand. I was on live this morning doing that. And then they get loaded into one of these presses. While they're in the press, they're in there for 24 hours, and then we pull them and put them in a stack of their own concave where they cure for a week. Once the boards are done curing, my boss, Sam, the owner of the company, hops right over here on this drill press, and it puts holes in the pressed layups like that. Those are your truck holes. As you can see on all these templates, they've got hardware sticking out, so we can attach the template to the uncut board and then run that template around this router bit here. This is a stabilizer. This is the router bit. And then he cuts out the shape, and then when I get to them, they're like this. The shape's cut out, but the edges are not to a 90 with the concave. So I'm going to walk through real quick what I do on each of these steps and what they do. Then I'm going to throw that mask on, get started, and it's going to be a little marathon to the end here, I guess. This has been the longest series of lives I've ever done. It was 2.5 hours for the first one. Now we're at 85 minutes. Doing pretty good. So once again, guys, that's lifeskateboard.com. You're going to be able to get these at lifeskateboard.com. And if you enjoy watching this, please share it. I'm really happy that this is reaching the little niche audience that enjoys this kind of stuff. And it's because of you guys that I'm able to reach an audience that I wouldn't otherwise be able to reach. So thank you very much. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. So, all right. So the shapes are cut out, but the edges are not to a 90. So this belt sander will bring them to a 90. This edge router will round them off, but it'll be a little bit rough. Beep. The drum will clean it up better. The back wheel will clean it up even further. And then the orbital is the last step of sanding before graphics are applied. And then our graphics are applied with hand-carved Lino blocks. Once I do these 4 boards and then rush through my own 2, I'll go ahead and apply graphics. Like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I'm pretty hungry. So I'm gonna try to get through these, but I'd really like to get all this work done before I leave today. So thank you, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Morgan might pop in here and be able to answer questions. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. Share if you'd like. You guys are rad. I'm gonna throw the mask on and get going here. Woo. You know what? I might go ahead and do a method that I haven't done in a long time. It seems to make time go a little faster for me while I'm doing this work. We'll see how this works. top is amazing on these boards, as you can see just from, I'll grab an uncut for you. There's your kip. Our concave is insanely deep. As you can see, the money bumps are beautiful as well. We're very well known for our extremely deep concave. In fact, if you go to Google, look up Life Skateboards, the only negative review is complaining about our concave, and we used that review for an ad. But we do offer a mellow concave for those that don't like it. But these boards last an extremely long time, guaranteed against delam. Really good top and really good concave. You know what? We're just going to take all 4 through at a time. Yeah, thank you for asking, Peter. Like I said, we do offer a mellow. I personally hate it, but some people like it. It is what it is. We make people what they want, not what we want to make. I mean, that was said very incorrectly. We make people what they want, so we change what we make to make sure that it's what people want. Dang, that's a huge board. You are correct. This is called the barge. It's the largest board we can make. It's 11.75. I actually have one set up. If you go back in my YouTube shorts, you'll be able to see me skating this thing. It's pretty fun. I would highly suggest, if you order a barge from us, getting it as a 6-ply. It's not going to be as strong as a 7-ply, but you're going to actually be able to do some stuff with it. I mean, I've done quite a bit with it, but beyond like shove-its, kickflips, and big spins, it's pretty hard. Although fakie frontside flip feels really possible on that barge for some reason. Go ahead and grab the tripod, extend it, and set you guys back behind here. I didn't like that you couldn't watch this part here, so I'm just gonna go through each of the steps. Go through each of these boards, I mean. routed one side of it. I said, I love seeing this, I'll buy one. Awesome. Thank you, Skate Forever. I'm going to make it real easy for you here. You're going to screenshot that for me, and then you'll always have the website to get exactly what you want. And if you have any questions or anything like that, you can reach out through the contact on there, Stranger Casper on Instagram, or just contact my boss through the contact information on the website. You can get exactly what you want. I'm glad that you're enjoying seeing the process. I love that we don't hide the process here. You know, it's just not a secret. We just go the extra mile to make sure you have a high quality skateboard. Give me 1 second here while I get a drink of water. Before this live, it was a 2.5 hour live that got cut off. So I'm a little tired and hungry and thirsty. I'll be right back. Looking like it might rain on us. I don't want it to rain on us. I wanted to skate this evening. If I don't get to skate, I might as well just stay here at work and keep working, right? I think that's how that works. Keeping this clean is pretty important. Fire brush, get everything pretty loose. And then come back with this, which is just abrasive cleaner. Same thing as grip go. Just twice as much and half the price. Just go to Harbor Freight. Big one. I'm gonna extend these legs on the tripod here just to give it some more stability, because I'm a little scared of dropping my phone. I wish I could. I'm gonna show you guys this thing before this live is over, so you can see how I thought this would be a super sketchy tripod, but it's working really well. But all right, I'm gonna go ahead and bust through these 4, and we're gonna hop onto the Mac wheel here. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. But remember, guys, you can just go to lifeskateboard.com, get yourself a life. And if you're enjoying what you're watching, please share it with your friends. I'm trying to find that little niche audience that enjoys watching skateboards being made the right way. one moment here. I gotta go check something real quick. I'm checking pretty periodically on rain. I definitely don't want rain getting in here. Hello. Dang it, I can't say your username or I'm gonna get in trouble. Gosh. I don't know, I can't find you. You're lost. But, hello. My arms are a little tired today. say how much I appreciate the YouTube community. I'm over here just working, not talking about anything. Nobody's interacting in the chat, and I've still got a huge group of people just watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I like YouTube mainly because I can find this group of people that enjoys what I do. So my phone is actually getting really low on battery. I'm thinking we might only be able to do these 4. So please let me know if you're going to be real upset if I don't get the graphics on this live today. I'm getting real hungry and real tired. So I've just got these 4 to finish up here. If you're going to be real upset to not see graphics done today, I will do the graphics tomorrow. So just let me know what you would prefer to see. I'll get the phone charging on the Orbital over there while I'm doing it. Alright, take all 4 of these. Through the Mac wheel. Give me 1 second, guys. It sounds like rain. I want to make sure I don't leave that door open. Nope, no rain yet. Hi, Morgan. Alrighty. glad you got some sleep, babe. I was just a little worried about you. So, everybody, Morgan, she's that's my fiance there. She gets to play moderator on here all the time. I'm gonna wipe the dust off the top of the screen here. And like I said, I've got these 4 left to do if I've got the energy to do it. Yeah, screw it. That's a purple board too. Yeah, I'm gonna have to just stick around and show you guys the graphic application unless you guys are gonna be real lenient with me. And let me do that tomorrow. Once I finish these 4 boards, that's everything for orders that needs to be done today. And then it's on to finishing up my boards. I just need a fresh board by Saturday for a contest. So, and Morgan, if you can just share this around Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. I'm having a hard time getting 2 other socials to post it while I'm in here. So I greatly appreciate it. Morgan's the boss. She's my moderator. Everybody's got to listen to her. She's the boss man today. And don't forget, guys, go to lifeskateboard.com and get yourself a life. If I get off this live and I hear that a bunch of orders came in, I'm going to be super happy. And I don't know. You guys will have made my day. But lifeskateboard.com. Maybe you'll see your board getting shaped on live. If I put a disc on the pad. You guys tell I'm tired yet? I'm just a little tired. Backwards, just so everybody can see it and read it. But really appreciate Morgan putting that link in there. I wish she could actually put a live link in there, but maybe one day I'll be able to do that. This just fell and scared the living shit out of me. Hey, look at that! Morgan can put a link in the comments. I need to have you as moderator all the time, guys. There's a link down there for Life Skateboards in the chat. Thank you, Morgan. Maybe I just need to get a second phone and be able to do that kind of stuff. Thank you, Morgan. That's really cool. There's a live link to the website in the chat right now. I wonder if I can I don't know anything about chatbots, but I wonder if I can program a chatbot to be able to just put the Life Skateboards website on there every once in a while and pop the Venmo up there, stuff like that. I'm gonna start looking into that. That sounds like a good idea, especially if I'm doing 5-hour lives like this. And if you're like, Casper, this isn't 5 hours. I did a 2.5-hour live before this, and for some reason YouTube cut me off. I don't know why. How's Lori doing, Morgan? Lori's our dog. She's at home right now. Actually, I just got right up in your face. There's Lori. You can get her on a Life Skateboard if you want to. I'm getting these 4 done, and then I'm still debating on whether or not I'm going to shape one of my own boards and start the graphic. And then on my way home, babe, I got to drop some decal off. I sold a, what was it? I think it was just an 8.5 popsicle yesterday, but he wanted some decal non-abrasive grip tape, so I got to swing that by him. By the way, if you're watching this and you haven't tried decal non-abrasive grip tape, I've been riding it for over, what was it? December of, so about a year and a half now. Absolutely love it. Saves me thousands of dollars on shoes. So worth it. Anybody that says it's not worth it probably didn't apply it correctly. If you're watching this and there's something you enjoy, you can do me a huge favor and share this with your friends. I'm just looking to find my little niche audience that likes watching skateboards made the right way. Check on the rain real quick because I cannot have that door open if it's raining. This barge is done. No rain. Is Sam here yet? I was kind of hoping Sam would come by. There's like a straight line in the sky. It is like completely black to the south of me and blue skies to the north. For anyone just now joining, I really appreciate you, Morgan. You're the best. You are seriously the best. Love you. You guys want to see how cute we are? We've had these matching tattoos for a long time. She's my queen. I got a king on me. We're cute. We're matchy's cute. This one might require some heavier grit on here. There we go. This has been a very long live. Where are we at? 2 hours now? Nice. Alright, switch back to 150. Power this out. Then we got 2 more customer boards to do, and then it is on to my personal board, some graphics, and then I'm gonna go eat. I'm hungry. Very hungry. Got 12 boards completely shaped. Got my last 3 here of customer boards to get through, and then I've got one more board. I got 2 of my own. I may or may not. I gotta come back to the shop tomorrow anyway. watch hours are gonna skyrocket when this live uploads as a full video. Thank you guys so much. And like I said before, if you're enjoying watching this, please share it with your friends. I'm slowly finding the audience for this niche that enjoys watching skateboards being made the right way. With your guys' help, very soon I'll be able to do in-video links. I'll be able to do donations on lives. Things are gonna change. Channel here because of you guys. Thank you very much. I don't remember leaving this door open. Is Sam here? Sam? There is no Sam. Here. Shit. Please don't end the live. Dang. I would have been so mad. Alright. Please don't fall. Whew. Getting a little worn out here. I'm just going to kind of go through what we do here at Life Skateboards while I'm touching these up, and let you guys know that you should screenshot this right here and get a Life Skateboard at lifeskateboard.com. Wrote it both directions just so you can read it no matter what. Alright, so here at Life Skateboards we do absolutely everything in-house. We press our own boards. Boards go in the press for 24 hours. They cure for a week. Sam drills the truck holes into them, and then one of the templates behind me is attached to the board. The templates ran along a router, and you get the rough cut on it, and set it in shape. And then I get it. I hit the belt sander, and the edge router, the drum, the mat wheel, and then we see the plastic before graphics are applied right here. Our graphics are applied with hand-carved lino block, motion with the carved by Devin Lakeling and the Fianc Florida. And you get whatever you want. That's lifeskateboards.com. Thank you, Morgan, for putting that link in the comments. But if you could please for me do the copy and paste thing so that that link is a live link. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much, Morgan. Thank you, Morgan. Greatly appreciate it. Morgan is my beautiful fiance, who's also my moderator on this chat here. She's the best. She's at home with the dog right now. Oh, and Morgan, just so you're aware, I did take Lori out. Morgan did it. What are you talking about, Zach? Live linking where? YouTube is YouTube requires you to have the HTTP in the full URL. Huh, right on. Well, dang. Okay, so that means I need to be a YouTube partner for that to work, I guess. So once I become a once I reach YouTube partner, which we're getting close with these skyrocketing watch hours if I keep doing these 5-hour lives, I'll go ahead and get a chatbot to be able to just pop that in there as a live link. Yeah, they are. There is always one in the live description. Thank you, Morgan. I always put I always do put a full link in the live description, hoping that it's seen later. The description's also where I hide all the hashtags. It's the reason that a lot of you people are here. Where did that 60 grit? There we go. Look at that big old chunk of glue. Who left that there? Who did that? If you haven't guessed yet, I'm the only glue tech here. excited to see how many watch hours this is coming from. There was a point for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, there were 60 people on here. I know that's not a lot for a lot of people, but I'm pretty excited. If I get more than 30 watch hours today, I'll be very happy. Alright, grab me a fresh 150. Toss this out. And I'm going to clock out before I clean up. That way I can offset some of this time. Love you, Morgan. Thank you very much. Morgan just said, don't forget to hit that bell. Alrighty. Alrighty. So that is it for customer boards today. Woo! That was a good long time of making skateboards. So I guess I should just give you guys my normal Life Skateboard spiel that I do in between board making, and then I'm gonna rush through my own. I'm gonna go ahead and clock out right now. But right here is the haul for the day. That was a lot. So my name is Casper Jones. I work for Life Skateboards, handcrafting skateboard decks. Here at Life Skateboards, we do absolutely everything in-house and by hand. If you were tuned in earlier today, I was rolling the glue on board veneer by hand to press them to throw them in the press. Sorry, I've been on live for about 5 hours now, so I'm losing my ability to talk smoothly. We start off with loose veneer here, and then we throw your 7 plies of maple or whatever you ordered together right here. Glue them all by hand because we want to make sure that every ply on the inside of your skateboard has full coverage on it. And then we throw it in one of the presses. They sit in the press for 24 hours, and then they cure for 7 days in a stack of their own concave. After they're cured, Sam comes over here. He puts the truck holes in on this drill press so that it looks like that. And then if you notice, all these templates around here have hardware sticking out of them. So the hardware is attached to the pressed but uncut board, and then it's ran around the router here. And then I'm going to walk you through each step as I walk through shaping my board here. Now my board is a very funky shape, I will say that. I designed it to be as funky as possible while still being functional. Funky and functional, that's how we do. So the Casper signature. On Blurple. Look at that thing. It's wild. It's nonsensical. It's fun. So after the edge is brought to a 90 with the belt sander, we're bringing it over to the edge router, round it off a little bit. So we did not plan this, but my shape actually matches in the curves to the side of the drum, size of the drum. Whee! All right, I'll go ahead and finish this up. I'm gonna do some taping off for the graphic, and then You guys plugged in here because I noticed the phone is dying. And then I'll have a portable block to bring with me. Grab some tape and I'm going to start getting this ready for a pattern design on the graphic. I think I'm just going to do a pink racing stripe. If I were doing this for a customer, I'd probably measure. But this is for me. So it's getting the eyeball treatment. Tape measure. Why is there not one right here? There is almost always one right here. There we go. I got the one stripe. It looks like it's a 1.5 inches. So I'll do 3/4 inch stripes up it. Alrighty. Grab my keys and we will go over to the studio. Alright. Fingers crossed this battery lasts. Alright, so I'm heading over to the studio. I'm going to do a bit of a background roll on this so it can be drying tomorrow so I can finish up the graphic. And I'm just going to come back over here, clean up, head home, eat, drop off some DKL grip tape. No, no thank you. No thanks. Oh. It's a long walk. Hope it's not a wreck in here. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Looks like it might be. I see that. Oh. It's nice and clean up here. Nice. Rare moments at Life Skateboards. Maybe I will. So we got speedball ink right here and a speedball roller. I've already taped this off. I'm going to be doing little racing stripes, because why not? Like I said, just going to let this dry overnight so that I can add several layers in the morning. And I'll go ahead and do the base prints on top of this pink. And what I'm going to do is not take the tape up, print it in black, and then tomorrow when everything's dry I'm going to print it again in white, and it'll make everything pop really well. All right, so I'm gonna get my signature graphic out and the Lori graphic, and I'm gonna print those once in black, and then we're just gonna go ahead and clean everything off. And then I'm done for the day. So let's see here. We got, I see Lori's graphic. Where's mine? There's mine. Alrighty. Go ahead and put Lori all the way at the top there. This is Lori's graphic here. It's my dog. I always try to, I've got two graphic, I've got my own graphic, but I like to throw her graphic on my board as well. So like I said, we're going to be printing this one in black. I'm going to go ahead and grab, where's that styrofoam? There it is. Setting it on this kind of just centers the board and makes it so it doesn't wobble around while you're printing on it. Need one more roller. Where do rollers go? Where are the rollers at? There we go. That one's good. Perfect. And grab some black ink and a piece of veneer. Where are the little pieces of veneer? These are things I should have looked for before I started the live. I'm sorry, guys. I know we've got them somewhere. There we go. That's all I wanted. I was looking for a little piece of veneer to break off and use for a scoop. Alright, so once it's placed on there, I'm going to roll it out and make sure you get even pressure across all of it. I personally, in my spare time, have been printing a lot with Lino blocks on paper with a different type of ink, and I am learning how much more difficult it is. The speedball ink is a lifesaver. So there's that print there. Now this is ready to be washed. Grab mine. And And we'll go ahead and print mine upside down. That way it still says Life and Casper on it. Then I'll peel the tape and we'll see how satisfying that is. And then I am done for the day. So I'm going to give Sam a call, let him know I'm going to be back here tomorrow and not to clear coat this thing, please. Please, Sam, don't clear coat it. Still got another step. Okay. I'll put this up there as best I can. All right. All right, here we go. I'm gonna pull this off of here. See how you guys enjoy it. Alrighty. Go ahead and flip that around. And you guys will see the last step before I go ahead and finish my day out. So what I'm going to do here is just pull this tape. And tomorrow, once this is all dry, I'm going to print it real clean and white over the top of it. Just a little bit offset, and that black in the background will make it pop. And I'll go ahead and make sure I do that on live. Alrighty. And there we have it. My board is ready for tomorrow. So look at that there. We're going to end up printing in white over it, so that black will just make it pop a little bit. I don't like using single color prints on my boards personally. I like to show off how double prints, Casper collages, and things like that work. So there we go. It clearly looks like nothing right now, but give me some time tomorrow and I'll have it for you. Probably it's whatever the cheapest stuff. The reason we use this tape, Zach, is because of we've tried a bunch of different masking tapes, and this is the masking tape that leaves the least amount of residue on the board after they're under pressure for 24 hours, which is annoying. We used some yellow tape one time, and it took so long. I had to go through a whole disc just to get each one off. It was not fun. But thanks for watching, guys. You guys have a great day. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Looks like, dang, that was a 3-hour live after a 2.5-hour live. You guys have a great day. I'm exhausted. I'm done for the day with the internets, I think.